Hello, Awana Clubbers. This is Mr. Rudy here. This is the third week in April 2021, and can you believe it? This is our last regular lesson in our handbooks. Next week is our review section 4.8, and then the week after that, which is Cinco de Mayo, will be our awards program. I told you about that last week, so please mark your calendars and plan to attend. Cinco de Mayo, May the 5th, at church, starting at 6 o'clock. So can you believe it? We have gone the entire year online. Wow. Sometimes I didn't think we'd make it, but we did, so here we are. We are hoping that in August, when we come back for the next year, that we will be in person, have in-person club meetings. But this year, for this week and next week, we will still be online. Okay, so this week we are in section 4.7, Grace to Persevere. Persevere. Now, that's a word that you don't use every day in your conversation, right? And not like baseball or tacos or homework, those kind of words you use almost every day. Well, maybe not tacos, but anyway, you get the idea. But persevere, that's a word we don't often use. All right, so Mr. Rudy got out his trusty smartphone and he looked up what is a definition of persevere, and it says continue in a course of action even in the face of difficulty. Hear that? Continue in a course of action even in the face of difficulty. Okay, so you're probably wondering, well, Mr. Rudy, what does that mean? Okay, have you ever done something that you kind of knew you were going to fail at, but you kept doing it because you wanted to get better and better? Example might be riding a bicycle. You wanted that great, nice, shiny bicycle, and your parents got you that bicycle, and you wanted to ride it around, but you know what? You had to start with training wheels first, right? And figure out how the bike works, and then as you got a little better and a little stronger, then the training wheels came off, and you rode your bike, but guess what? You probably fell down a few times, right? Yeah. Well, you get up and get back on the bike again, right? Well, that's persevering. All right, another example here. Did you know that Mr. Rudy plays the flute? Now, I'm not going to play it for you this morning, but I will let you know that I had to persevere in practicing my flute to get from making terrible, awful sounds to notes that are pretty good anymore, okay? That's persevering. Now, when I first started, I knew I was going to be making some bad notes and some squawky sounds, and they happened, but I kept at it, I kept persevering, and I eventually got better. All right, I'm going to show you a video here of some boys who persevered at another musical instrument, okay? Check this out, guys. All right, so do you think those boys on the saxophones persevered? Do you think they kept practicing even when they were making bad squawky sounds? Yeah, I'm sure they were because they sounded pretty good there, right? Okay, let's take another example of someone who persevered. Now, as most of you know, Mr. Rudy used to live in California where they do a lot of surfing. Check out this surfing video. Here you go. Now, can you imagine how many times those surfers fell off the surfboards and wiped out, crashing into the waves, only to go swim after their boards and get it and paddle back out and try another wave? Yeah, I'm sure they wiped out, they failed a lot of times. But you know what? They loved being out there, they loved surfing, they wanted to get better, so they persevered and they kept surfing, and then you saw that video. Some of those surfers got really very good at it, and they tackled those big waves. By the way, those were not kind of waves that Mr. Rudy is familiar with in Southern California. I think those waves were in Hawaii. All right, one more quick video here. Now, like we talked earlier about a bicycle, have you guys been able to do this with your bicycle? Check this out. All right, so I think that rider had on that bicycle had some kind of a trick bicycle because you notice the way his front wheel went all the way around and stuff. I'm not sure you ever find Mr. Rudy going up those ramps and then flipping around and coming back down the ramps. No, but I know some of you guys would like to do that or have done that. But the point is, I'm sure that when the first time that rider got on that bike, he wasn't able to do all those tricks, was he? Mm-mm. So he fell down quite a few times, probably skinned his elbows and his arms. I'm sure he had some pads on, but even so, you get all bumped up and ruffled up when you fall down. And I'm sure he fell down a lot of times before he got as good as that video showed. Pretty cool, huh? Well, you're probably wondering, well, Mr. Rudy, what does that have to do with an Awana lesson? Well, did you know that when you trust Jesus, the Bible does not promise you that everything's going to be hunky-dory and easy breezy and that you're never going to have any problems. No, in fact, Jesus even warned us. He says people are going to hate you and they're going to say bad things about you and they're going to scheme against you because you follow me, you're my disciple. So things are going to be hard. However, God also promises that He's going to be with us and help us through these times. Okay, let's go to our memory verse, which is in Deuteronomy 31. Now, a little background to this. In this section of the Bible, Moses is 120 years old. He has finished leading the Israelites through the wilderness for 40 years because of their disobedience. He is now announced to the people that Joshua is going to be the new leader, that Joshua is going to lead them into the promised land. And so Moses is making his last couple of lectures or speeches to the people. All right? So this is what he is telling the people. Deuteronomy chapter 31, your memory verse. Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear nor be afraid of them. Talking about the people who live in the promised land that they're going to go and make war against. For the Lord your God, He is the one who goes with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. So, Moses is sending the people into the land to conquer it, to drive the people out, but he says, God is going to be with you. Now that is a promise. God is going to be with you. God will not forsake you. So, the Israelites were a special people of God, but today, the special people of God also include those who trust in Jesus. So, when Moses told the people this, he was also telling us today, well, those of us who trust in Jesus, that God will not leave us. God will not forsake us. Let's look at another verse from the Old Testament which lists out some of God's other promises that He has made to those who trust Him. Check this out. Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. These are some great promises from God. Let's look at them again. I am with you. I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you. You notice in all these promises, God is doing all the work. All we have to do is trust Him. Okay, those are some great promises. Now, you got to admit though, sometimes when we do things for Jesus, it gets kind of scary. I mean, when we know we have to talk to our friends about Jesus, whether or not to go to church, it's kind of scary. We get a little afraid about that. Well, there's another promise. This one's in the New Testament that I want you to look at and think about. Here, watch this. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. Let's take all the negative words out of this and see what God is telling us. God has given us a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. That is a great promise. So that promises that not only will God be with us, but He will give us the power, which means He'll give us the words when we talk to our friends, talk to our family members about Jesus. And even though we might be scared, God is there with us to help us out. I want to share one more verse with you, one of my favorite verses that I memorized when I was the same age as some of you guys, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Okay, Philippians 4:13, one more time. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, that verse is really important to me because it says I still have to go and do it. I do all things, but it's the strength of Christ and the strength of the Holy Spirit living through my life that will give me the strength to do these things. Give me the strength to persevere. All right, so we're back to where we started with persevere. Keeping on, doing things that we know are hard, that are difficult, but in the case of doing things for Jesus, He's there to help us, and He'll give us the strength. He'll take away our fear. He'll give us the words. And like this verse says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All right, clubbers, have a good week. One more week of videos. Well, I'll make another video next week. And until then, this is Rudy signing off. Bye.